I think a lot of people were happy when they heard the good news about Omicron, that the Omicron variant was very mild. There were so many articles talking about, hey, this is great. This is how we get herd immunity. And I told you that there is no plan B. The government is not going back. There is no back to normal. And just like I say that, just like they have a plan, you have to have a plan. Just like they got people, just like they collude together, you got to have community. Because the only way that you're going to be able to push back against the tyranny that is coming is either you got to be far off somewhere in the middle of Alaska where the communists are not going to follow you, or you have to have community. And so this article came out today, right? This article came out today. It says Biden signs $137 million deal with German pharmaceutical company for test strips factory that will take 3 years to build and will start producing 83 million tests a month in late 24 at the earliest. And this is why I say, for people who are like, hold the line, we're going to win. It's like, bro, stop it. This is the plan. And that's why I say either you got to go off and start your own community. You got to find like-minded individuals. You have to be productive. The people who are just consumers, right? The people who are dependent upon the state, they will fall right in line. The government says you got to test every week before you got to go into work, whether you take it or not. They're going to do it. They just came out with the Pfizer pill. They're like, you need to take this pill, once a day. They will do it. Whatever the slave master, right? Whatever master says, the slaves will do. But if you don't want to be a part of the system, you're going to have to create it someplace else. Someplace where they won't follow you. Someplace where you'll be so far away that they won't want to deal with you. But you will have to create your own communities, and you'll have to learn to get along, and you'll have to learn to build with each other. It goes on to say, it says, Biden administration struck a deal with German company to build factory in Wisconsin to increase production of testing kits. The company is called MilliporeSigma. So new factory will pump out 83 million tests a day. 83 million a month. But the factory won't be operational for another 3 years. Construction is expected to begin in the second half of 2022. And initial planning and preparatory work is already underway. Says they told the DailyMail.com, it says, we estimate that the factory will be capable of providing lateral flow membrane in the latter part of 2024. Fuel speculation, and the administration thinks testing will still be needed in 2025. It says does not fix immediate concerns of testing shortages and hour-long lines to get tests for the current variant. This is Biden caught heat Wednesday with news contractors won't be finished until the next week for the 500 million at-home tests that he promised. There are still unanswered questions about how the at-home test distribution will work and how long it will take for the test to arrive once delivered. And these tests will more than likely keep you home.
And we are following this guidance. Regardless of your vaccination status, if you test positive for COVID-19, you must isolate. There is no need to repeat a positive at-home test in a medical setting. We don't want people going into the emergency department just to get tested. Treat a positive as a positive, stay home and isolate for 5 days.
I would not doubt if they had a high propensity to produce false positives, and it'll keep people home. And what I think the countries will experience will be deflation, because it's just communism. It's just communism. These people don't want to work. And so they'll have limited supplies. There'll be limited jobs. We're already seeing it right now, where people are quitting their jobs. And eventually, once manufacturing catches up, there won't be a need for all the labor. And so you'll start to see deflation. And UBI, maybe they'll come out with like some central bank digital currency or some sort of digital currency, which is why everybody has to take it and why everybody has to get the digital ID, right? You don't need an ID to vote, but you need an ID for this. Voting is going to disappear. Voting is probably going to disappear. That's why. And all you're going to be left with is just a dictatorship within these countries. And like I said, just like they have plans, you have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. And I understand that some people might not be in a position right now. And you might be in a position where you're like, well, what do I do? I might have to take it, or maybe I've already taken it and I don't want to take it again. And this is no one's fault but our own. It's nobody's fault but our own. And the only way we can fix it is from the ground up, which means we got to start from scratch. And that's what's going to happen. I know people thinking, they're like, oh, Joe Biden gave up and he said this is a state issue. It's like, yeah, you're going to handle this at the local level. Certain states might be better than others, right? Florida currently is better, but they still have mandates. Florida still has mandates. So does Texas, at the very least for your nursing. And more companies will start to push for it. I've showed where they had that business owner, that homeowner who owned multiple properties in Florida. And he said, if you don't take it, I'm not renewing your lease. You're up out of here. And you have to hope that the courts will take your side. DeSantis isn't going to be in office forever. And the current level and the current administration, and it's not even about the administration, it's what the global elites want. And it's just the common people are just not unified enough. And this is the whole point of the left and the right and the anti versus the ones who took it and the maskers versus the non. The whole point is to keep people at odds. The whole black versus white, etc. is to keep people at odds, keep the people busy with shit that don't matter while we plan the future. And this is what they do. They keep you busy. Oh, there's going to be aliens. Right? And it's just like, fucking ridiculous, right? But this is what they do to keep you busy. This is like with your parents, right? You like turn the TV on, you throw some toys, leave me the fuck alone. The kids will preoccupy themselves while the parents go and do the more important stuff. And this is what they're doing. They put all the stuff out there to preoccupy you with the scamdemic. They preoccupy you with the mask, the no mask. They change from left to right. Mask this week, no mask this week. You're good to go with two. No, you need a third. Here comes I think you need a fourth. They keep you busy with this stuff so that they can do what they got to do. And that's why I keep saying, just like they have a plan, you have to have a plan. I understand people might not be in a position to, but the whole point, if you're in a position where you have to take it, the opportunity is here to make money. There's a lot of money out there in different fields. And if you take it, pray you don't have any sort of a side effect, but you have to go out there and grab some of that money so that maybe you can buy land someplace else. Maybe you can start a business someplace else. Maybe you can have a bug out place someplace else. This is where we are. And you have to be thinking 10 steps ahead. These people are years ahead of you. These people are thinking 2030 while you're thinking 2022. And if you're not prepared mentally, physically, spiritually, if you're not in shape, you should be getting in shape. If you don't have a community around you, start looking for one, because that's the only thing that's going to save you. If you think you're going to go off and bug out into the woods forever, maybe that'll work. Maybe it won't. Not everybody wants to live that life. Not everybody wants to live in the middle of the woods and never see civilization again. Some people might. Most people won't, which is why you're going to need to find like-minded individuals, and you're going to have to band together to push back against the tyranny that is coming. This is what they tell you openly. Imagine the things that they're keeping from you. And that's why I say that there is no plan B. This is the plan. You have to have an alternative. You have to have the way to avoid as much of this nonsense as you can. Unless people are out there and they're willing to shoulder their rifle and push back that way, this is your future. This is your future. Anyway, gonna leave it there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.